What are some of your bucket list experiences?
I don't think about these
Yeah.
things really, uh, but I should. And when you said, where do you want to be in 30 years? It's like, I've never thought about that. And it's like you're helping me dust off some of these trains of thought that are actually really good to think about sometimes. I didn't know what this was going to be like, and it's been really, really helpful. The
Think
people
about
who
it.
help may not have thought about these questions in a long time. Where do you want to be in 10 years? They might
Mhm.
have just been trying to keep the house from falling apart for the last 10 years, and they might not have thought about that.
Welcome to the Solve for Mom podcast. Do you love spending family time together every day but realize that your own interests have fallen to the wayside? Do you have a long list of things you wish to learn but you're so tired from trying to balance it all on your own and frustrated from not planning ahead to make it happen? Have you been mom for so long that you've lost track of who you are as an individual? Hi, I'm Anoki. I'm a PhD biomedical researcher, homeschooling mom, and life coach. I too poured myself into being a mom and thought I had to stop doing the things that I love to do. I was struggling to make time for myself, had lost my sense of direction, and kept second guessing myself. I wanted to take back control of my purpose and passions. But I kept telling myself there'll be plenty of time for that later. Until I did what was natural to me. Using the methods of a scientist, I created plans to prioritize my values, organize my time, and take action towards my goals. If you're ready to go questing for your purpose, level up your learning, and confidently pursue your passions while still being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this complex equation we call life, it's time to sharpen our pencils and our minds and solve for mom. Hello to all of you moms out there. This is episode 23 of the Solve for Mom podcast. I'm your host, Anoki Kapasi. Today, we have lots of fun things to talk about. I'm going to let you in on something super special. I'm sharing one of my coaching calls that I had recently with a client. With her permission, I'm going to be sharing our session together, but I'm going to be using a different name for her, so we're just going to call her Alice. You'll actually get a small taste of what it's like to work with me. So you probably know by now that I help busy moms like you to excel in your life without taking time away from your family. And I do this with the use of life planning. Now, everyone has their own definition of what it means to excel in their life. It could be that you want to take action on your passion projects, or you want to get back to a hobby. It could be as simple as wanting to maintain an organized home and live a peaceful family life. And it could be as ambitious as wanting to start a side business. So while productivity, high-performance strategies, building skills, and going for personal growth and growing your identity are very much a core part of what I teach, I advance those ideas with the use of life planning. Life planning is the solution to so many things. It is the key because it's a solid framework for directing your behavior that you want. It's similar to Cal Newport's idea when he talks about deep work and living a deep life, that you need to develop your personhood, get a good foundation there, and that precedes all of your systems and strategies for productivity. I too believe that if you take the time to do the inner reflection work, then your external actions will be more effective because they're going to be values driven and they're going to be based on your purpose, passions, and vision. So my coaching style is very different from most personal growth coaches. That's because I used science-based strategies for life planning. What sets me apart is that my coaching is informed by over 15 years of experience as a biomedical scientist. That means that everything I teach is built on the principles of critical thinking and systematic problem solving. I get inspiration from research methodology and project management approaches. My Balanced Mom coaching sessions use what I call the SPA framework. Now, that name isn't a coincidence. It's really supposed to feel like a spa treatment for personal growth in your mom life. It also stands for self-discover, plan, achieve. And as we just discussed, it's really important to go through the self-discovery phase of life planning before you can start achieving your goals. So with that in mind, let's talk about Alice. Alice came to me with a very specific self-growth goal in mind. She had challenges with feeling successful at home. This was our first coaching session, and you're going to see how we started the self-discovery phase of life planning. How we were able to find purpose and spark joy as a way of increasing discipline towards her success goals at home. Let's hear from Alice about what she's struggling with.
Well, I too have some challenges with feeling successful at home and like I'm able to provide the home atmosphere I want to for my family in terms of fresh meals and keeping a nice low budget for those meals, planning ahead so that we don't have to eat out and eat greasy food. That's kind of a good example for a lot of the challenges. There just isn't the discipline needed yet that keeps things running on track like that. We'll have a good week and then we'll just get off the rails. It's all kinds of little things that are best practices or good habits, like going to bed at 10 instead of 2 and getting up at 6 instead of 8 for me. Everybody has a different rhythm, but that's what works for me. Yeah, getting a walk, getting outside in some way really helps with just having a good outlook on the day. So all kinds of little habits that they don't just like fall into your lap. They have to be maintained. And that's what's been the challenge, is maintaining those good habits, and so that we can have just a good foundation for the day and feels like we're living the way that we want to and not just flying by the seat of our pants, basically. I think I thrive on built-in structure. Like if I have to go to orchestra practice, then I will learn an instrument. I will practice and I will stick with it. But if there's no
accountability,
if there's no set up appointment that I can't miss, and that accountability of working with other people, then it tends to fall by the wayside. The one exception has been the reading, because I enjoy it so much, and it's like eating dessert. There's no resistance.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's part of it. Like my kids know piano because we have this teacher and we go every week. Maybe that's a big part of it. And at work, there's so much accountability.
Yeah.
And so
It's true.
you stick with it. You feel like you have that freedom and permission to come up with the best, most efficient order to do your work, and then you just do it. And people will tell you, good job, or you need to get things done faster, or whatever. But that's not really happening at home. If the house is a mess, I'm the only one who cares. Other people in my house, they don't notice as much, and they don't mind. So maybe if there's a way to impose some more structure, that would help.
Hi, ladies. I know you're here because you really want to get your life together, but it just feels so overwhelming. See, I get it. You know that you need to find more time and plan your days out and get a little more organized so you're on top of things. But you're also thinking, I can't do this because it's going to take forever. It's so complicated and I'm already drowning here, so how am I going to find the time to do more things? Listen, guys, let me make this easy for you. I have a free Planning Time to Succeed workshop. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to figure out where your time is really going. We're going to align your time with your goals and actually create more room in your day for things that matter the most to you and the things that bring you joy. I promise you, no expensive planners, no digital apps with multiple logins, definitely no guilt trips for wanting more me time. Just practical step-by-step strategies that fit your life. You don't need to add more to your already full plate. What you need is to learn how to clear off your busy time clutter and make space for what actually matters. So in this workshop, we're going to do a simple time audit together to spot out what's working and what's not. I'm going to teach you how to define your version of success and set up your day to actually move toward it. And you're going to leave with clear next steps and one small action that you can take immediately to see progress. Let's just stop making our lives so much harder than it needs to be. Instead, let's use a plan that's simple, strategic, and actually doable. I would be so honored if you joined me for this live event on Tuesday, March 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Planning Time to Succeed workshop. Oh, and did I mention there's going to be a fun door prize? Of course, the real prize is that you're going to walk away feeling so much lighter, more confident, and ready to take back control of your days. So it's time to plan for your success. Register now using the link in the show notes and save your seat. I can't wait to hang out with you. So what have we learned so far? As I mentioned, everyone has their own definition of success. For Alice, it's to keep up with the best practices of her home, right? Cooking and cleaning and maintaining the home. She also knows what things sets her day up for success or energizes her, but she was struggling with building those into her routine. She was looking for systems and accountability to reinforce the discipline. So using the SPA framework, I was able to help her get back in touch with her values, priorities, purpose, and vision, which will be the drivers for how she's going to spend her time. Her passions will be the incentive or reward for creating discipline because she will only spend her time now for doing things that she understands the why behind or knows that they are for sure adding value to her life. Therefore, she's going to be more motivated to do it. And she'll be able to stick with it because she's going to reward herself by doing the things she loves after that. Here's how I explained it to her.
One of the things that I think really helps, it kind of feels like you're stepping backwards before you step forwards, but it's life planning. And it's basically where you get some clarity on figuring out the things that you're doing in your life that have meaning to you because they're driving your goals, or you know why you're doing it. Like it has purpose to you, or it's something that you really enjoy, like it fuels your passions. And it goes towards your vision that you have for your future. And so one of the things that helps me do some of the things like find discipline in the things that I don't necessarily enjoy, but I know I have to do, they still have meaning in my life. Order in my house has meaning to me, right? But I also think of it as a duty and responsibility, is kind of having a carrot and stick sort of situation, not stick, just the carrot part. So you were talking about how the chores list for your children seems to work really well because they have something to look forward to, right? They have the allowance thing, or like they got to pick a movie or whatever it was, right? The reason I was bringing this up in the context of your chores is, or I'm calling them chores, but you know what I mean, finding discipline for the things you want to get done, is that when I get to spend my day doing things that I really like to do and want to do, like in your case, maybe being out in nature and taking walks and certain things that you've already mentioned, those to me are like the carrots. If I do this, clean the dishes, then I get to play this game with my kids, or I'm going to go for a walk or shoot some hoops or whatever it is you like to do, right? And I know that the timing of our day doesn't always, our schedules don't always allow that. But I kind of like to, I say, oh, I'm going to treat myself to a cappuccino while my kids are in class because I got X, Y, and Z done.
Nice.
But you need to know, like, you need to be able to align your day to the things that are important to you. You know, each of your days has to move towards where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. You know, you don't want your whole day to just every day to be a series of chores that you're getting done because you want to have a clean house or because you're taking care of everyone except yourself. And so that's why I think life planning is really important, because now every day that I go through, I know I'm doing stuff for myself that's helping me. And by helping me, I'm helping my family. And so I never have to wonder, like, did I go through this day and it was just all about my kids? Not that that's a bad thing. That's our role as moms, but that I don't feel lost in the shuffle either.
Right.
So that's why I have this self-discovery assessment. And for some people, it might be to find their passions and what hobbies to pursue, or if they want to switch careers or whatever. But in your case, it might just be to find more carrots to incorporate into your life. Does that make sense? Like you said, reading a book is so low resistance. It's like eating a dessert, right?
Yeah.
Let's find more desserts for you and make sure you get them in your life.
During the self-discovery assessment, we started to uncover some of her passions that she had forgotten about. They are clues for realigning her time.
What do you think you were born to do? And are you doing that right now? If you had money and time and all of that was not in the equation and you could just spend it the way you wanted to, what would you do?
I would travel the world with my family, learning and experiencing, and we would also need to find a purpose in it, because I've traveled without a purpose and it feels empty. But if we were doing something meaningful that helped others, that's what I would do, because I just thrive when I'm out and about and on some kind of mission, and when I'm at home and I just have to clean and cook and wake up on time. It's hard. I love being on trips and I love going places and going on adventures. I went on several trips in college and everyone was telling me, you have no fear and we never know where you are because you're always off talking to some people or off on some adventure. And I don't know. I think that's the happiest and the freest I've been, when I'm got some kind of purpose. And it always has to involve knowledge, education, growing, I love learning about other cultures and their history. Not food. I like eating the food. I don't really need it. But just, the whole shebang. I love it.
That's
Language.
awesome. What are some of your bucket list experiences?
I don't think about these things.
Yeah.
Really. But I should. And when you said, where do you want to be in 30 years? It's like, I've never thought about that. And it's like you're helping me dust off some of these trains of thought that are actually really good to think about sometimes. I didn't know what this was going to be like, and it's been really, really helpful. The people who help may not have thought about these questions in a long time. Where do you want to be in 10 years? They might have just been trying to keep the house from falling apart for the last 10 years, and they might not have thought about that.
With the completed self-discovery assessment, we now have all the information for the components that feed into the top tier of Alice's life plan. Now that Alice has clarity on what her priorities are, what she values, and what drives her and what sparks joy in her, we then have to make sure that she's making the time to reduce, all of that overwhelm and help her balance her priorities and be able to do meaningful things in her life. So we are working on auditing her time and aligning her time with her life plan. And if you want to be able to do this, you're in luck. I have a free live 1-hour workshop to do just that. If you click on the link in the show notes, I'm going to hook you up and you will have a spot reserved for Tuesday, March 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And if you can't make it, I suggest you sign up anyways. I will be sharing the replay link. But essentially, we're going to be going through the ins and outs of the time audit, and you're going to be able to figure out how your time is being spent and how you can start spending the time the way you actually want to spend it. So now that we had done the foundational work for creating motivation for her to stay disciplined, we still had to address Alice's challenge of implementing systems so that she has reliable routines that she can lean on. So I walked Alice through a couple of different systems that I think she could start using to get herself back on track. In fact, in my last accountability check-in, Alice told me that she started on the first system that we talked about, and she's excited to see how it goes. And if you too want to create customized systems that you're going to implement in your life, you're going to be able to stick with, and in a way that's not adding more things for you to do in a day, I would love to help you one-on-one when you book a call with me. And finally, to address the accountability challenge that she has, Alice is going to receive accountability through my coaching. That's one of the huge benefits of coaching one-on-one. When we have a call together, it's not just a 1-hour call. I leave you with step-by-step clear instructions of what to do and how to reach me in case you need help. And then I also check in on you at various points of your journey. All right, mamas, I hope this was a really fun episode for you and that you can see that life planning is at the heart of it all. And my science-based methods make the process more systematic and robust. I was able to help Alice reconnect with her true passions and introduce more joy into her life. I helped her get back on track with simple systems and also build consistency through accountability with my coaching and realign her time with a more values-driven life. Don't forget, you can get your start on March 4th with my free 1-hour live workshop called Planning Time to Succeed. Don't forget to sign up now using the link in the show notes below. I hope to see you there. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe and tell other ambitious mamas about it. Who knows, you might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. Thank you for making my show a part of your day. I'll see you next week for another episode of the Solve for Mom podcast with Anoki Kapasi.